Hey there! Ready for a deep dive? We're going to unlock some hidden layers of yourself you might not even know exist. We're diving into Rudolf Steiner today.
Oh, Steiner.
Specifically, his works A Road to Self-Knowledge and The Threshold of the Spiritual World.
Steiner is a deep read sometimes. But it's so captivating how he connects these complex spiritual concepts to everyday experiences. Makes you think.
Absolutely. Anyone familiar with Steiner's four body?
In the physical, elemental, astral, and ego bodies.
Get ready for some aha moments as we connect them to practical insights. This your first time with Steiner?
I love.
It's going to be a fascinating ride.
He starts with the familiar, right? The physical body. But even then, he wants us to shift our perspective. Our physical bodies, they're not just vessels. They're living records.
No, I don't like that.
Molded by the world around us, shaped by our experiences.
So our bodies reflect our inner and outer worlds constantly. What happens when we move beyond the physical?
That's where the elemental body comes in. Sometimes it's called the etheric body.
Okay, the elemental body.
Think of it like, you know how real a memory can feel? Even though it's not physically happening.
Yeah, totally.
That's a glimpse into the elemental body. It's forces, energies, experienced through, as Steiner calls it, clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance, a heightened state of awareness.
Exactly.
And here's where it gets really interesting, right? Steiner says this clairvoyance, it's not some supernatural gift. It's within all of us. We can cultivate it through practices like meditation.
He's basically saying we can train ourselves to perceive these subtler layers of reality.
So we can actually train ourselves to see these things.
It's like, imagine looking at a painting. You go from a two-dimensional view to suddenly seeing its depth, the texture.
Wow. Okay, so we've got the physical body, the energetic blueprint of the elemental body, and then
We enter the astral body.
this is where things get a bit more, well, emotional, right?
Yeah, you could say that. The astral body is alive with our desires, emotions, passions. If the elemental body is about merging with the world's energy, the astral body is where you feel a distinct me versus other.
So it's not just feeling our feelings more intensely.
It's more than that.
Okay.
Steiner says the astral body lets us interact with spiritual beings. He even talks about spirits of time, entities that shape historical epochs. Wild, right?
And he's saying these beings are real?
Not abstract deities, but tangible forces with their own qualities, their own influences. Really makes you question what's real, how history unfolds.
So there are other things out there influencing things.
It's like discovering hidden characters in a play we thought we knew.
Wow. So it's not just us humans running the show down here. Our thoughts and emotions in this astral realm, they impact these spiritual forces too.
That's the implication.
Yeah.
Steiner even suggests that in the astral realm, thoughts directly impact the forces of nature. Imagine
Okay, hold on.
a world where what you think, what you feel, directly influences your environment.
That's both, I don't know, exhilarating and terrifying. Okay, so we've got this interplay between the physical, elemental, and astral. What's the final piece?
The ego body, sometimes called the thought body. It's the observer, the remember, the learner.
So it's experiencing life through the physical, elemental, and astral bodies.
Think of it as the resident of the house, the one who lives there.
Okay.
And it's through the ego body that things like reincarnation start to make sense. See, Steiner talks about encountering your past self as memories held within the ego body, distinct from your current self,
Yeah.
like accessing a library of your past lives.
A library of past lives, each one shaping who you are today. That's a lot to process.
It is.
And it makes you wonder, like, those times we feel inexplicably drawn to certain places or activities or have those weird fears. Could those be echoes?
From previous lives. Memories in our ego body.
It's like these aren't just fleeting memories, but lived experiences, shaping our inclinations, talents, even our challenges. That changes how we think about personal growth.
Exactly. It's a much bigger story. It goes way beyond our current life.
But if we're shaped by these past experiences, how do we navigate the present? How do we even begin to prepare for what comes next in our soul's journey?
And that's where things get truly transformative. Steiner doesn't just describe these hidden bodies. He offers a path for actively engaging with them.
So we have to do more than just understand these ideas, right?
It's about more than just knowing.
Steiner is pushing us to actually engage with these hidden parts of ourselves. But how? Where do we even start?
He really stresses inner work,
Mm.
practices, like meditation, self-reflection, really being conscious of our thoughts, our emotions, cultivating that.
So don't just observe your inner world,
Yeah.
participate in it. But he doesn't want us to rush into it either, right?
Oh, absolutely not. He compares it to like developing any skill. You can't just, I don't know, wake up and run a marathon.
Right.
You need to train. Exploring these inner realms, it's the same thing.
So we need spiritual fitness.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we start training?
Steiner suggests something surprisingly simple. Focused on a single thought or emotion for a while.
Seriously, that's it. Just sit there with one thought. Seems almost too easy.
That's the beauty of it. These days, it's all distractions all the time. Just focusing our attention. It's powerful stuff. Even a simple thought, when you really experience it, it becomes a tool. You refine your perception.
Training our inner muscles so we can go deeper into those realms.
Yes. And as we do that, we might encounter what Steiner calls the guardian of the threshold.
Okay, that sounds kind of intimidating, like some cosmic bouncer
Okay.
deciding if we're worthy or not.
It can feel that way. Imagine a force, and it makes you face your inner shadows, your fears, your limitations, before you can go further.
So it's not about being worthy, it's about being ready.
Yeah, exactly. This journey, it's not about running from reality. It's about strengthening your connection to it. It's about facing what comes up, inside and out.
Which makes sense, because Steiner says that what we find in those realms, it challenges everything. How we see reality, good, evil, even beauty.
He says that in these realms, moral and natural law, they're all connected. Like he uses the example of hate or envy. They actually have a real effect on spiritual beings. Our inner states matter.
So it's not all in our heads. Our emotions actually affect the spiritual realm.
That's what Steiner suggests. It's like what you're feeling inside, it shapes the world outside.
Thought and action all blurred together. And you mentioned beauty, that our perception of it changes too.
What we find pretty in the physical world, it takes on a whole new meaning in these realms. Steiner says true beauty, it's not about what's on the outside. It's about what's inside a being.
So less about a nice sunset, more about, I don't know, authenticity, vulnerability maybe.
Exactly. The courage to be really seen, flaws and all. Which makes me think about Steiner's ideas on reincarnation.
How so?
Well, if the goal is to become better, to embody that deeper kind of beauty, one lifetime doesn't seem like much, does it?
Especially if you keep messing up. But is that how he sees reincarnation? Like a cosmic do-over, a second chance to get things right?
It's less about getting it right, more about the soul unfolding. Steiner says that with practice, you can actually access memories of your past lives through clairvoyant consciousness. And those experiences, they make you who you are today, and they offer a glimpse of what's ahead.
So it's all connected. These past lives aren't just random events. They're all chapters in a larger story. And the ego body, it's holding on to those stories, like a collection of books.
What a great analogy. And like any good series, there are plot twists. Steiner says our past lives, they often show us the opposite of who we are now.
So what I'm into in this life, I might have hated it in a past life.
It challenges how we see personal growth, doesn't it? It means we're always changing, exploring different sides of ourselves over many lifetimes.
Makes it even more interesting. But Steiner doesn't stop there. He mentions a realm beyond the spiritual world. He calls it super spiritual.
Yes, and this is where things get really interesting.
Super spiritual. Are you messing with me? We've got physical bodies, elemental bodies, astral bodies, ego bodies, reincarnation. And now there's something even beyond that.
This is Steiner taking us into uncharted territory, beyond even what we've been talking about.
So what is this super spiritual realm? Some kind of cosmic reset button?
You could say that. Steiner says it's a realm beyond thought itself. Imagine, pure being.
Yeah.
Merging with everything, no separation.
Okay, that sounds intense. But amazing too. How do we even approach something beyond thought?
Steiner suggests a radical shift. We have to let go, even our memories, our sense of self.
Let go of everything we are to experience this. Oneness, terrifying and liberating at the same time.
It's a paradox, right? To reach this unity, we have to surrender the ego. But Steiner says that's how the true nature of the ego is revealed, that individual spark of consciousness.
But we're not getting rid of the ego, we're understanding its place in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. It's a level of consciousness we can't even grasp with our current understanding.
Wow. That really puts everything into perspective, doesn't it? Everything we've talked about, the physical, the elemental, the astral, the ego, reincarnation, it's all part of this huge tapestry of spiritual evolution.
And that's key to understanding Steiner. He's not saying believe this. He's inviting us to explore it ourselves.
So don't just take his word for it. Use his ideas to start your own discoveries.
Exactly. These concepts, they're like tools for exploring yourself, finding your place in the universe.
So after this deep dive into Steiner's world, what should we take away from all this?
You are more than just this physical body, your thoughts and emotions. You are multidimensional, connected to realms you can't even imagine.
That is pretty empowering. We have this potential inside us, just waiting.
Absolutely. As you go about your day, pay attention. Those intuitive nudges, those moments that just feel right, those synchronicities you can't explain.
Those times you feel drawn to a place, a person, even a book.
What if those are glimpses into what Steiner's talking about? Invitations to go deeper.
Like Steiner saying, listen up. The universe is talking to you, showing you who you really are.
Keep exploring those hidden selves. Keep asking those questions. And keep diving deep.
And that's a wrap on this deep dive into Rudolf Steiner. Until next time, stay curious, keep those minds open, and those souls ignited.